Opedare, a devout woman of God, wife, mother, and entrepreneur. A God-fearing woman who has devoted her time to ensuring that God's message is used to empower everyone, but most especially women. With a strong belief in the importance of women empowering women and educating each other through our life experiences, she is the founder of Women's Forum, Let's Be Real, a forum for women to work through issues and set and accomplish goals together. Held every second Friday of every month at 6 Elton Road, Lee Green, London. Keep up with Let's Be Real here on PRZ FM every Tuesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Let's Be Real on PRZ Radio 109.2 FM. My name is Jummy Opedare. I'm your host. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you. I believe that you have been blessed on all the episodes that we have been bringing here. This is by popular demand. This episode is by popular demand that we want to talk about caring for our elderly, caring for the elderly. If you have any question or suggestion or any other topic that you will want us to bring on here, don't forget that you can email it to us on letsbereal@przfm.com. letsbereal@przfm.com. Thank you once again for all your support and your comments and your questions. May God richly bless you. Today I'm so delighted to have in the studio with me my own very sister, Pastor Phillip Olaleye. Thank you so much for coming in. God bless you. I know that this particular topic is something that people have been talking about. It carries a lot of emotion, even with the elderly and the young ones, the children or relatives that are looking after them. And some people have done it wrong. Some people have done a fantastic job in this particular area of life. And some people are so scared of when it happens. What do they do? How would they go about this? How can they cope? How do people cope with taking care of the elderly? Because it might be very, very stressful. It might be enjoyable. It might be very emotional for both parties. But we want to talk about this today so that everyone will know what to do when this happens. Or people that are going through these particular issues right now, they will know what they have to be doing to make it easier for them. Pastor Phillip, God bless you. Thank you for accepting to come on this show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Okay. Now, we are talking about looking after elderly, dealing with aging parents or families or partners or whatever. So, let's start from the biblical side of it. What are the biblical injunctions of taking care of our elderly?
The Bible has a lot to say when it comes to taking care of people who are elderly. Maybe let me start like Leviticus 19:32 spoke about standing up in the presence of aged, show up respect for the elderly and revere your God. It's like putting the relationship in a way that whatever you are doing to the elderly is a mirror of how you reference God in their life. And we also remember Paul telling young Timothy not to rebuke an elder harshly in the presence of the younger people, that they should be treated as mother, older women treated as mother, older men treated as fathers. So the Bible enjoins us so that we can care for our elderly ones.
Okay, thank you so much, because I know that as well that Bible will support us even to respect, honor your father and your mother and things like that, which is very key to our Christian belief. But I think there will be some principles that we need to consider when we are talking about taking care of our elderly. Do you want to explain to our people what principles that needs to guide us in order to do it and to do it right?
Okay, before I go on to start naming principles, I want to establish first that when we're talking about elderly, we are not only referring to parents.
Okay.
So there are people that occupy that classification of elderly in our life. They don't have to be biological parents. So if we are in a position to take care of anybody elderly, we are doing the will of God by doing so. It might be an aunt. It might even be somebody that we adopted because of our relationship in the church. So we know that it's the will of God that they be cared for. Those who are in that category. Yes. Now, moving on to the principle, and I want us to be as realistic as we can. The number one thing is for us to take care of ourselves. When you don't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of anybody. The easiest example that I will use is when you are in the aircraft. I know a lot of people don't pay attention, but it's something that they always show at the beginning of any air travel. They will show the safety tips, they call it. So they will say in case there's a decompression or something in the cabin, and that you want the oxygen mask will drop from the ceiling or will come from somewhere, and they will say you have to put it on your face first, secure yours before you go on to help the person that is beside you. It's the same principle.
True.
If you are going to be able to take care of the elderly people in your family, in your church, in your community, you have to be the type of person that really have taken their time to take care of themselves. You take care of yourself financially, you take care of yourself spiritually, you take care of yourself emotionally, and when you have done that, then you will have enough to give out. Because a lot of people these days, they see the elderly as their ticket, as their meal ticket, as a catch. Like they've gone out fishing and they have caught something. And they, instead of now caring, they begin to take advantage of the people that are elderly around them. And the only reason why they are doing that is that because they have not taken time to take care of themselves. So that's the principle number one. You put yourself in a position to be able to take care of others. That's the first one. Now, to do that, the second principle is that you plan. You plan ahead. You really plan ahead. You need to plan. So if my parents are in their 80s or their 90s, or when I was in my 40s and I have parents, or I have an aunt, or I have a relation that I know the bulk of responsibility is going to fall on me, then I have to start making plans. Making plans that, in case mom is unable to live in the house by herself, what will be the thing that I'm likely to do? When maybe I'm buying a house, I have 2 kids, then I start to think of, okay, in future, is mom going to come and stay with me? So I make a provision for that. Or is mom is going to go to a home? Whichever way, it shouldn't come upon us suddenly. We need to plan for it. We need to think of what could happen, then start to put that into the way we live. In the Caucasian community, you find people, even when they want to take a job, they take a job in an environment that will say, because I have an aged mom or aged father, I want to be close when they call so that I can be able to check on them in bad weather and all that. So the second principle is that we need to plan. When you know God has given you people like that around the plan. And then the number 3 thing I would say is that we need to be informed. We need to be very informed. See, in different communities, the government makes some provisions And then when we are not informed about what is available, we are not able to take advantage of those things that are available for us. When you are taking care of the elderly, sometimes there's discounts available that you can benefit from. You need to visit your bureau, visit your church community, places around where you can get help. So you need to constantly be informed. Sometimes they even have like a daycare for elderly where they can visit, and it's not a pocket breaking thing. Then go for it. Same, even if you are like in the African community, there are places where they can go. I know that there's some African churches also that have a place where you can bring your parents to socialize and all that. We need to look out and just don't think you are overwhelmed with the things that are going on around, and don't seek information on how you can make the burden lighter than what you're having. I think I'm gonna stop on that.
Okay, thank you so much. So you've mentioned the fact that we need to look after ourselves. That's the first principle. You need to plan ahead of time when you know that these are the people that surrounds you, and there's possibility for you to find yourself in a role that look after the elderly around you. You need to plan. You need to be well informed. Know what resources are available in your environment. So I think these are very simple things for us to start to think about if we have the elderly around us. But I know that looking after something might be very emotional, it might not be as easy as we are saying it. I don't know what your experience is, but how do we keep our sanity in this type of situation?
Yeah, that's a very important question. And maybe I should look at it this way. You know how they call toddlers? They will say terrible too. So, and when you have a baby and everybody comes in, oh, such a quiet baby, such a nice baby, such a cute baby. They can say all that when the baby, but once they start reaching the age of 2, you know that's the time when you have to keep your keys, because they can get into the toilet and be flushed away. They can throw your car key into the garbage can and you'll be looking for different things can happen. So the same thing when you have elderly people. It may not be as bad as having a toddler in the house, but it's definitely not the way they used to be. So the first thing you have to first accept that things have changed. Mommy has changed, daddy has changed, auntie is no longer the same. So when you accept that things have changed, then you are able to look at things for the way they are now, not for the way they used to be. So some, they cannot be as fast as they used to be. They cannot run the race. They cannot be as to be able to clean the environment like they used to be. Things are just not the way they used to be. So things have changed. Once you realize things have changed and you are starting to observe things the way they are, the second thing is you take it slowly. You take it slowly. Like you take the adjustment that comes with it, the response that you hope to get. Just know that it's going to be a process. It's going to be a process in the way you get them to accept things, in the way they do things that you think they can do. It's going to be a process, and the process is very, very slow. Now, also, I would say you should expect their anger. Expect their anger. That is, and this anger may not really be directed at you. When you take it personal, then you may miss the point. You see, I always tell people, because with my background in nursing, I've seen something. I said, when people suffer heart attack and they survive, they are usually very grateful to people and to God. When people suffer a stroke and they survive, they are usually very angry. The reason is that when you are looking at your hand, your feet, or your leg, and you are giving instruction to your hand and say, hand move, and it's not moving, it's very frustrating.
True.
I know I have a hand. I should be able, especially people that suffer the form of paralysis or the other. This hand should be able to move, but it's not moving. It's not listening to what your mind is saying or what your head is saying. The same thing with elderly people. They have the frustration of not being able to do things that they believe they should be able to do. They have the frustration of not being able to move. They have the frustration of aches and pain. They have the frustration of even kids thinking they are not as smart as they think they are. Probably they want to press the phone. They have to ask somebody to do some text messaging, do some picture, things that they think it should be easy. So they have this frustration.
Wow.
And that you expect that there will be times when they will be angry. It won't be at you. It may be at themselves. But when you know all these things, it helps you to be able to separate the meat from the bone, the way they say it. So you know what is the heart of the matter.
Wow.
And it will help you to keep your sanity. And also, when you are able to separate their emotional, that is their feelings, from the fact. You have to be able to say, oh, this is a feeling from what is the fact. Oh, so grandma said, oh, these kids are no longer listening to me. That's how the grandma feels. And you have to be able to separate it from the fact, okay, grandma, they will listen to you. Maybe let me call them, or maybe they are doing their homework. That is why they couldn't do this at this time. But we will create time. You do in a way that you help. But if you are not separating the feeling from fact, you will get yourself worked up. And you won't be able to keep your sanity.
Wow. Wow. That's really encouraging. So you've just said that we should accept that things have changed with these people, not to think that it's the same person you had 20 years ago, it's still the same person you are dealing with now.
All.
They have changed. And you know that's quite true, because even we are changing.
Of course.
We are changing. At times I just look at myself, I say, wow, will I do that a few years ago? And most of the time, the younger ones now, they're so much advanced that we need their help. Even at this our age, we need their help. So the elderly too, they will need us. Things have changed. It's just not the same, and that's the way it's going to be. Also, you talked about their hunger. Most of the time, we don't think that they have the right to be hungry. We think they're hungry at us, or any elderly person, anyone that is around them. We think they're hungry at them, or why are they like that? But we just have to step back and think that let's put ourselves in their situation. Things have changed. They can't do what they want to do. Their freedom has been taken away from them or is reduced. So it's really a big thing for them, which is very, very serious. I believe that anyone that is listening to us, that you have elderly people around you, all what we are saying is that put yourself, step backwards and look at the situation from afar, and you see that all these things that we are saying are absolutely true. Things have changed. They're hungry not at you because of the situation they find themselves in, and we should understand that. That's what we are talking about tonight. Okay, now let's go further and find out things we need to be careful of about this taking care of our elderly. What are the things we need to be careful of?
One, we have to be careful that we act within our legal authority. Let me say that. We are trying to help them, but we shouldn't take over their life. There's a legality. There's also the fact of making that person less of who they are if we take over. There are things that are within the legal constraint. It's sad. I'm trying to recollect some that I've seen when people say something about, okay, I remember one day meeting a man that said, my mother is old. I don't think we should be paying for medication anyway. She's going to die anyway. So why should we pay for her medications? And I was shocked. First, I have to let the man realize that first, you are not the one paying. She's paying for her own medication. And you don't have a right to stop her from taking her medication. It's illegal. As in a way, you are implying that she has to die. Even hearing that is already killing the woman. So act whatever way. Don't start signing their checks. I've worked in the hospitals a lot. You see children coming in and saying, "Oh, mom, because you are sick, start to sign this check." No. In caring for the elderly, we have to be careful to make sure that whatever we are doing is within our legal authority to do. And also, we need to be careful not to take their independence
away from them.
Independence, let them do as much as they can do. If they want to be able to walk, and they want to walk around and the place is safe, let them do it. They want to watch a TV show, let them do it. Don't move in with somebody that's elderly, and then take over and become the owner of the house. If they're in your house, maybe it's a different scenario, but you are in their space. Don't take over. Don't take the independence from them. That alone can make their life go on a downward spiral. And we don't want to do that. And there's some things that we ought not to say. When you say something like, how can you not remember? It's a saying that you are not functioning at your level. And then, because it makes them feel less of a person. You cannot say that. You cannot say you could do it if you really tried. They don't have to prove a point to anybody at this point of their life. True. If you really try. It's okay to say, "Mommy, you could do it. Let's try. Let me help you. Let's work on it together." But not in a degrading way by saying, you could do it if you really, really try. It's because you are not trying. That's what that's saying. Or you say something like, "I just told you how to do it. I just showed you. How many times will I show you?" Without saying they know what it means. They will be hearing what you are not saying.
True.
If you're saying something like that. Okay. And I know for those of us who have been around elderly people, they like to tell stories.
That's right.
And they can tell the story 10 times, the same story. They'll keep telling the same story over and over. And when the worst thing to do is to shut them down by saying, "You have told me that before." If you know that you cannot, you are not opportune to hear that story, you can ask that, "Okay, that is very interesting. Maybe we should save it till after dinner." Or we will have a whole time on Saturday. We can sit together and you can tell me that story. But when you say something like, "Oh, you have told me that already. You are saying it again," it's as good as, "Please, shut up." So those are things we need to be careful not to do.
Wow. That's interesting. So we need to be careful with the choice of words that we use with the elderly.
Yes.
Putting ourselves in their situation, they are already pitting themselves. Now we don't want to make things worse. by telling them you can't remember things because I told you you haven't you forgotten. I taught you you can't learn it, and things like that. You can't remember. Why would you not remember? Because I've already told you. All those negative words, we should try as much as possible and not to use them with these people we are talking about, because that will make them to go down more than think great of themselves. And I believe that these things will have a negative effect in their lifespan if we continue to use these words on them on daily basis.
It does because most of the people, you'll find out that those who are well cared for, those who feel love, even in the presence of chronic conditions, in the presence of health challenge, they tend to do well. They tend to live fulfilled, joyful life in spite of whatever can be going on around them. So to make their life a fulfilling and let them enjoy being around their people, we need to pick the words that we use. It should be the uplifting and not the downgrading one.
Thank you so much. Okay, what are the benefits of looking after this our loved ones?
When we take care of our loved ones, we believe that they pray for us. They pray for us to prosper. They pray for us to be rewarded in all the commandments. The only one with the reward is the one that says honor your father and your mother. That's the one that promised long life for us. So, and in caring for our elderly ones, we are honoring them. And God is so faithful. If He says that will result in long life, we better believe it. Because it's as good. It could be taken to the bank. When God says something, you can go to bank on it. It's a reward that the Lord will give, not even them will give. That's one way of looking at it. Another way is it makes us feel fulfilled. If you take care of an elderly person and they eventually went to be with the Lord, you will see the kind of satisfaction in you that you have done everything that you could do. There will be no going around with ill feelings, with guilt feelings, like things that you could have done. So it is very, very rewarding. And then you can expect that when you get to that point in your life, the Lord will remember your labor and visit you with the same kind of affection coming from the generation that is coming behind you to reward you with the same thing that you have given later on in life.
Fantastic. So there's nothing that we do that we will not reap the benefit of it. That's what we are saying. This is Let's Believe on PRZ Radio 109.2 FM. Here in the studio with my wonderful sister, Pastor Folakemi Olaleye, that we are talking about caring for our elderlies. We've talked about what we need to do, how we should prepare ourselves before we look after someone. So, and now we are talking about the benefits of looking after them. Apart from the fact that the Bible pronounced some blessings on the fact that we listen to our parents, we look after them, is like sowing a seed. It's also giving us a sense of achievement, a sense of what that we have done what we have to do, even when they pass on, we will not feel guilty.
Yes.
That we have done everything that is within our reach that we could do, even to help them. And also is a key thing to know that whatever we do, we will reap.
Yes.
If you look after your elderly, your young ones will look after you. That is the principle that we have seen times over and over and over again, that's the way it works. Whatever you sow, you will reap. So please, let's sow love, let's sow caring into the lives of our elderly, and it will pay off. There's something I also want to ask. Some people are struggling. They are struggling with this. What can they do apart from the fact that we've talked about how we can keep our sanity by knowing things have changed, by knowing that even these elderly ones, they are angry but not at us, by helping them in one way or the other, making them be managing their emotions. But how do we manage our own emotions? Because I've seen situations that they found it very, very difficult for them to listen to us and hear what we are saying. They have to learn to change things. But some situations are so depressing for the carers themselves. What should they do?
Okay. Number one, we need to ask for help. We need to ask for help because we are human. We are human. We are not God. So, and it could be very tasking. Not even elderly, clearing for anybody can be very, very tasking. We need to know when to ask for help, whether from other loved ones or whether from agencies that are available to take care of such. I remember that there are places, like I said, like churches or community centers that will allow, they will take burden of a day or a couple of hours so that the caregiver can get some rest. So, and we shouldn't hesitate to take use of such advantage, especially when it comes to siblings. I found out that there's no need to make it a competition to say, oh, I'm the only one that's taking care. When it's time to allow other siblings to take their turn, do so that it won't become a burden. A burden shared is a problem half solved. So you take time and let some other siblings take their turn so that it won't be overwhelming on the main caregiver. That's what we need to do. And we plan activities too. We plan activities that, let's say, father needs a health visit, mother needs a health visit. You have a way to plan it in a way that it will not be repeated and something that will keep constantly taking your time. You put it together, plan. That will help you when it comes to taking care of them and you not being overwhelmed. The reason why people struggle is because they are overwhelmed with what they do. The third thing I want to say is that when we start looking at things and putting ourselves on the other side, it makes burden lighter.
That's true.
When we say, oh, in 20 years, this could be me.
That's true.
In 25 years, God willing, this could be me. It makes it
easier.
It makes it easier because we know how we want to be treated. We know what we want done for us. And when we have done, or when we look at it that way, then instead of it becoming a struggle, it becomes a seed that we hope will germinate and will bring a better harvest even for us. That's the way we look at it.
That's sense. That's true sense. And this we apply to many other things in our lives. If we can put ourselves in that place, turn the table around and see yourself in that particular situation, I think we will treat ourselves better. Even in any kind of relationship, we will treat ourselves better. And this is real. Just put yourself, shift the role, put yourself in that particular situation and reflect how you want to be treated. Do unto others how you want them to do unto you. Thank you so much.
There are three things that I would say the elderly people need. They need medical care, they need nutrition, and they need, let me call it vocation. vocation in that sense. So I can start explaining by talking on the vocation, so that I won't be misunderstood that I'm talking about a job. I'm talking about something that will occupy them. I don't want to call it pleasure, because it's not only pleasure alone. Something that will occupy their time. You know, the Bible says, occupy till I come. And we translate that to be vocation. That's what I mean. Something that will occupy their time. Out of that vocation, there will be a column for anything that you know will pleasure them. Something they love to do. So you look at that. Sometimes it's the grandchildren. Just to come around. They are not there to, it's not like you're asking them to now come and babysit. But just these people to give them pleasure, laugh, play with them. As long as you have the ones that are not too aggressive to cause grandma or grandpa to start running around. But occupy them with something. And some is volunteering in the church. They may want to be at prayer meetings. They may want to be there to visit somebody. Occupy that vocation, which is occupying their time. You don't want the elderly to just stay in the same place all day long with nothing. They get bored. They get weak. They don't have that they are deployed. They don't have exercise that can get them stronger. So you want them to have something to occupy, and in that, make sure it's diversified. You make it a kind of diversity. Okay, grandma, will you like to visit your friends today? I will have time on Saturday or have time on Friday. I can take you to spend 2 hours with grandma. So it's a kind of vocation. They are being occupied. Oh, there's a senior prayer meeting in the church as Wednesday morning. I'll be available then to take you so that you can be there. Anything that could occupy them. That's one thing that they need. Number 2 thing, they need good nutrition. And they don't eat the way we eat. Most elderly people are already set in the way they eat and what they eat. So don't now try to change them. Oh, in their days, they are used to eating white rice. At this point now, you want them to be eating brown rice because you said, oh, the doctor says brown rice is more nutritious. I used to work with a doctor in the US, and he always says this. He will say, when you start complaining about some lungs, I will say, oh, is this? He will say, listen to me. That lung has been expanding and collapsing 20 times every minute. 60 minutes every hour, 24 hours every day for the last 80 years. If the woman is not in pain, if the woman is not in distress, you counted 24 instead of 18, leave her alone. Please leave her alone. It's nothing that will happen now. So the same way, if mama has been eating white rice for 80 years, don't change it to brown now. It's about taste. Whatever will make them happy. Taste. If there's some things that can enhance their nutrition, find a way to incorporate it in the diet, but don't force about it. Don't force about it. So make sure, and if the energy that it takes to prepare the meal becomes more than the pleasure in the meal, then there's something wrong with that. So if you can find a way to make it easier, that's what we talked when we talked about planning. You think of when mama will not be able to go to the kitchen anymore. You already thought of that, and then you have somebody that grandma, can you teach Florence? Can you teach Shade the way you like your vegetable to be cooked? So in a way that we can address the area of nutrition, it needs to be addressed. The same way when we are talking about it, the third one is the medical.
Yeah.
If there's a way that they can get palliative treatment, don't withdraw it. Usually elderly people, they always have a lot of complaints. Some of them you can validate, some you can't. But you have, because they feel it, you have to accept it. That is real. That's what they feel, and you have to accept that that's what is going on. So you take them, they have their doctor that they are comfortable with. Let them keep seeing whoever they are seeing. Let them keep their appointments. Don't write them off. Let their medical need be taken care of. Whatever can relieve and make the everyday life easier, it's necessary that we attend to it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I believe that this will help many of us that are there or are almost there to look after our elderlies, because I know there's a reward, and these tips will make it easier for us to be able to cope with this type of need when the time comes. If you have not listened to us from the beginning of this show, you can download this from the SoundCloud. Let's Be Real with Jummy Opedare and Phillip Olaleye. God bless you. Thank you so much. And lastly, I just want to ask this, that if people are really going through issues, will counseling help them?
A lot. It's very necessary. I mean, talk to people who have been in that shows. They will have one word of wisdom or the other to share. They will talk with them. Talk with your siblings, so that we all. The thing I want to add this with it, that taking care of elderly for whatever reason is always having some family conflict going on. A lot of time it goes with family conflict, because those who are doing will be doing, and those who are not will feel like this person think they are doing, and all those things. Or somebody can feel like I'm doing, nobody is doing, things like that. Try to work things that around that by talking to somebody that can help, where you can mitigate family conflict around that, so that the job is lighter and it's not it doesn't become an unnecessary burden with what you're already doing.
Okay, thank you so much. I think that's what we are able to cover today about caring for the elderly, and I believe that this will help someone a long way. So thank you, Pastor Phillip Olaleye, for coming in to explain this for us into details. You have looked after your parents, you have cared for your patients as well, and I know that by the grace of God will give us the energy to be able to do this, the wisdom behind it, the knowledge of doing it. God will give unto us, and God will keep the life of our elderlies, and we will enjoy them for longer in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. It is well with you all. Thank you so much for tuning in again. God bless you and stay safe.
Meet Pastor Jummy Opedare, a devout woman of God, wife, mother, and entrepreneur. A God-fearing woman who has devoted her time to ensuring that God's message is used to empower everyone, but most especially women. With a strong belief in the importance of women empowering women and educating each other through our life experiences, she is the founder of Women's Forum, Let's Be Real, a forum for women to work through issues and set and accomplish goals together. Held every second Friday of every month at 6 Elton Road, Lee Green, London. Keep up with Let's Be Real here on PRZ FM every Tuesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.